know what you bastards are thinking. Mike, snapbacks, aviators. This isn't BET 2001. What I'm telling you guys is 2001 is 16 years ago. I'm already bringing that retro shit back. It's already cool again. Rev Run and all those fools. Russell Simmons, everybody was rocking this, so I think it's still cool. The beard's a little janky. Need to fix that up. I'll agree. Going into get my cut up. Fresh cut tomorrow. Next week, we head to Boston. First adventure. I mean, I guess I'm on a fucking adventure right now. One, I'm stuck in traffic. Shitty timing on my part, but had a lot of shit to take care of. Life shit. Getting my passport. My gimbal for my GoPro. Shout out to GoPro, actually. Their customer service in my entire life is probably the best customer service I've ever dealt with. And especially the best customer service via email. So that's awesome. So my gimbal, I was really fucked up. It would randomly lock up and vibrate like mad. So the audio and video was literally unusable here and there. And they're just replacing it. They're taking care of me. It's a little bit of a process. So whatever, I gotta return that thing. I gotta get my passport. I had an interview I had to do. I mean, I didn't have to do, I got to do it. I was lucky enough that somebody wanted to talk to me. Basically, I've had a lot of those lately. If you guys are interested in seeing those, I guess what I'll do, I'll make it tradition or process that I'll tweet them out, because they're on different platforms. They're other people's YouTubes or they're other people's podcasts. So they typically send me those. And if you guys are interested to hear them, today was really good. I think the guy had, he was from Singapore, really good insight. He already knew a little bit about me, which was cool. So he has some good questions, and we talked about some of the non-basic shit, which is always cool. So I'll tweet them out. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, silentmike2ks, I'll make it the process to tweet out any interview or any article or whatever I get into. Right now, yeah, as I mentioned, adventure, checking out a new gym, a gym I have been to. My girlfriend Sandy lives about half an hour, 45 minutes away, and this gym is near her. It's also a gym that she competed at about 2 years ago, so I've been to this gym. The gym owner, the homie Ryan, is the guy who ran the meet that I pulled 705 at. So if you guys saw that video, that wasn't the gym, that was just an event that he helped put on. He ran the deadlift competition. But I know Ryan for a little bit. I've done a seminar at his gym. I've helped spot and load a little bit at one of his meets. And then now I'm gonna go train there for the first time. Feeling really beat up. I actually just texted my homegirl Mariel, who you guys probably hopefully saw in another video also. She was working on my quads and low back a lot, like twice a week. And then because of my busy schedule and a little bit of travel and me being sick, I haven't had her work on me in like 2 weeks. And it's catching up. Like my hip is really tight. I can feel it getting angry into my low back, and then my quads just ache from the squats. So I just text her to get her to work on me, hopefully this weekend and a couple times a week thereafter. Life shit to get in handle. These are blue blocker sunglasses. I know you guys want them. They're straight 80s. This is like actually retro. It's not like Ray-Ban. Well, Ray-Ban's I guess also retro also, but it's not like a company making a retro style to hop on the retro fad. Like blue blockers, like my dad wore them straight in the 70s and 80s. They were literally had infomercials. They're on QVC. These are the shit. They're like $10. I don't even know. I got them on Amazon, but I love them. Everything's orange. I can see clearly. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Don't worry. My album's coming out soon. You can pre-order it. Description below. Time to squat. What's happening, guys? Silent Mike. Another voiceover. Hopefully teach you guys a thing or two while you're being entertained. Not by the massive lifts, but hopefully just the cool shots. A little bit of gym footage. Today I want to talk a little bit again about kind of forcing the knees out. Why, how, etc. With my new kind of style of squat where I'm purposely trying to stay more upright and I'm purposely trying to protect my back, drive my knees forward. It's not particularly because I think I could squat the most weight this way, but it's the way I can do the most training and volume while keeping my back safe. My low back both erectors and kind of like QL. I mean, I'm no doctor, but I think those two things really lock up because my lack of glute strength, and also they just can't take as much volume. So if I stay more upright like this, I get a little bit more into my quads. I can brace really well, and I don't have to worry about that forward lean. But in order to stay upright, in order to hit proper depth, in order to squat the most amount of weight possible in this form for me, and most that kind of do a high bar, knees forward, more upright squat, it's super important to get your hips going somewhere. So we've talked about that in the past with maybe tall lifters. If you need to push your hips back or your knees out and forward, but somehow we need to get our hips downward with keeping the bar over our midfoot. And so what's helped me the most kind of with this high bar position is obviously driving into my knees, but really forcing my knees out. The cue of dropping your hips straight down between your knees helps a lot of people. My boy Andy Askow, a huge squatter. I believe he squatted over 800 multiple times in competition just in knee sleeves. Talks about that's his main cue, and his squat is beautiful. Super upright, pretty quad dominant. The bar is pretty high up on his shoulders, on his traps, and he squats straight down. It literally looks like his hips are literally just dropping straight underneath his torso in between his knees. But for some of us, our mobility and how we're built doesn't allow us to do that. So for myself, my hips, I can't really force my knees out that good. That's kind of also why my sumo stance is a little bit more narrow, and my squat stance. But for me, now that I'm using a heeled shoe, what I can do is I try to, even before I descend, is I dig my toes into the ground really hard, make sure my weight's kind of distributed evenly. If you try to really sit back on your heels in a heeled weightlifting shoe, often, not always, often out of the hole or just out of the hole, you'll get pitched forward really hard. But what I've been doing is driving my toes into the ground, feeling my midfoot, my heel's still planted, but know that you have that heel elevated. So leaning forward in a sense to begin with is what I do. And I know that may be counter to everything you've heard is sit back, heels back, weight on your heels. Some people's toes even come up in the squat. But for myself, I'm almost leaning forward onto my toes and driving through the balls of my feet because my heels will take care of themselves because of the weightlifting shoe. Now, hopefully this doesn't mess up a bunch of you guys and you go out there and start squatting off the front of your toe, because that is not proper also. But that's a little tip and trick that I've felt out recently. Helps me stay upright, build my quads, build in my squat, a little bit of upper body work after that. Like this bitch, share this bitch. Appreciate you guys. More training, vlogs, voiceovers on the way. Comment below any questions you have. I'll try to help. As I mentioned, just getting back into it, just about doing the work. It's not about the poundage right now, hence the beltless work. I'm not a big fan of beltless work in general. That's just my personal experience with it. Many others have good experiences at clients, coaches, not for me. So right now, beltless, keep the weight off the bar, bench, etc. Appreciate you.